Hello everyone, I'm Zishansha and welcome to Z Interactive YouTube channel, your own training institute. So here we will go through our next lesson of chapter 1, which is the graph view. So we will learn about the graph view in this lesson. So graph view, as I told you before, is probably the most important view inside the Substance Painter. And this is where you will be doing mostly all of your work, which is texturing process, and where you will be creating full-on materials. And this is where you will manage your knowledge of connecting nodes, and you will be creating your outputs and so on. So it's, you can say, heart of the Substance Painter, the king of views inside the Substance Painter. So the first thing I want to go over with you guys is how to get around inside of the graph view. So the big one over here is the panning. So the way you actually pan inside the Substance Painter, especially inside the graph view, is by holding the middle mouse button, which is your scroll wheel, and you just click and you can just move around just like this. And apart from this, you can also use the scroll wheel to zoom in, or like zoom out or zoom in. So the same scroll wheel button, you can just click and pan around. So this is how you can use that. But if you don't have a scroll wheel, or if you just don't like to use the scroll wheel, you can also control the whole thing with the Alt key on your keyboard. So to control, you just press the Alt key on your keyboard, and then you press the like right mouse button, so you can zoom in and out. So this is, I'm doing with the Alt key pressed and with the right mouse button, zooming in and zooming out. So I hope this is clear. Now, the next thing I want to show you is how you can actually create your nodes. So it's inside the Substance Painter, there are actually 5 different ways of doing this. The first one I want to show you guys is actually right here on the top. You will see a bunch of different icons, which represent different commonly used node inside the Substance Designer. I'm not going over each one of these, so you can check all of these by your own, like one by one, but I will show you like the way you can use them, like the different ways you can create these nodes. So you can just hover over these and it will show you what these are. You can do like you can create bitmap, you can do blending, you can do blur, you can do all of these different kind of like nodes. You can click them, and then suppose blur, if you click on the blur, you will get the blur node over here. If you click on the blend, it will give you the blend over here. So just like that, you will like get them. So just I'll do one thing, I'll just delete it so we can create nodes with different other methods also. The second way to add nodes is just right click inside any empty area. And once you will do that, you will have add a node option over here, and you will get all these same nodes over here. And the good thing is that you don't have to hover over or do something like that, because already all these nodes have their names, their descriptions, like what they are. And you just simply click on them and you will get these nodes basically on your screen. And this is how actually it works. Let's delete these. So the third method is that you can actually go inside the library. Here we are in the library, and you can go in the under the filters. Let's make this a little bigger so you can see these. And then what you can do is that you have to type in which nodes you want to use. So you should know the name of the nodes, like suppose blur. Okay, so you can get all the blurs and effects and like different kind of things here. Suppose I want to use blend, I can type here blend. Now don't worry about these nodes, like what is blend, what is blur, what does the sharp do, because we will have our completely new chapter. After we finish this chapter 1, we will have another chapter, and that chapter will be all about the nodes. So you don't have to worry about these nodes. We will have a completely chapter specifically assigned for the node. So don't worry about this. Like, the tutorials, the courses I make is with details. So these courses, if you follow my tutorial videos, my courses, you will learn each and everything. So you don't have to go from my channel to different other channels and, reading books or doing like different researches. Everything will be on my channel. And that's the motive I keep to give you all is complete detail. So let's delete this. So a good thing about is that, like, suppose if I type here curve, for example, so I will get everything which is related to curve. So that's one good thing about the library. So it's a kind of a quick way of getting the nodes that you want. And if you want anything related to curve, it will show you everything related to curve. Very quickly you will get that, and just you simply click and drag and you will have this on your screen. You can have it on your 2D view or just like here. Let me delete this one. And other way is that you just I don't think you can double click. So you have to drag on the screen and then you will get it. So double click will not work here. Now, the fourth one is my personal favorite method to bring up the nodes. Let's clear this first. Okay. So what this fourth method is and why this is my favorite, because it's quite handy, and you can say it's all in one. All in one means like the top one, the library one, and the right click one is all in one. So what you just do is that just press spacebar, you get all these nodes just like you get it by the right click, plus you will have all these pictures here, icons just like you have it on the top, and you can filter it out. Suppose blend, if I will type here, so I will get everything related to blend just like I get it from the library. So it's all in one sort of thing. That's why it's my favorite. And I find this one like a good one, or you can say like easier to use or quite handy to use, as you can say. So for example, let's put the blend here. So if I click it on the blend, I will have the blend here. So for both here, actually, if you will go to the library, you can just go to the filters drop downs and you will see adjustment. Everything is related to adjustment. Blurs, everything is related to blur. So you actually don't have to know the name of what you're looking for, but when you press spacebar here, you should know what you're looking for. So that's one thing here. I won't say it's a downside of it, but it's something extra that you need to know. Like, you should know the name of the node that you're looking for. So the fifth and the final way to bring up a node is actually more dependent on the resources you have. So you just have to go to your Explorer window, and then you can just bring it here, whatever you want to bring it. So that's basically like resource dependent. So this is how you can actually bring it on your graph view as well. Now that we have a few nodes inside our graph view, so let's talk about how to connect nodes and their behaviors of connecting one another. So let's do one thing. Let's put these one here, okay? Because I don't actually. Let's do one thing. Let's delete these. These are not quite useful. What I will do here is that I will just bring some those nodes which will kind of give you an overview of stuff. Okay. So the first way to connect a node, you can actually bring up like you should have like an initial node so that you can connect that node to some other nodes. So let's bring up a node here. Let's bring a star shape here. So I will type here star, and I will get the star shape. I will click on it, and I will have my star shape here. So let's make it a little bigger so you can see what's going on. And here I have my star shape. Now let's bring in another nodes, let's say blur, for instance, and this is pretty much most basic way of connecting out. You just have to like you can right click here, add node, blur or spacebar blur. So you can do whatever you want, or you can take it from here or from here. So it's totally up to you. So once you have it, I have my star shape. Now, what is this? This is my first node, which is the star shape, and this is my second node. So how it actually works, if we compare it to Photoshop, so in Photoshop we have layers. So the layer that we create first, the bottom layer, is actually the first layer. So let's look at an example like what we are doing over here. Let's compare it to like Photoshop as an example. So our first node over here is the star node. So if we do the same thing in Photoshop, how we will do that? We'll have our first layer. You can make a new layer here, or on the background you can do that. I'll take a like a shape here. Okay, and then I will turn this shape into something. Okay, let's make a star shape here. Do we have a star shape inside? Or I can take a custom shape here. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's put the black color here, and then we'll take a white shape and create over. So it will look kind of exactly like what we are doing inside our what you call Substance Painter. Okay, so suppose this is our star that we have created. Now here I want to blur this star shape or whatever shape we have here in Photoshop. So what I can do here is that I can simply go here in my filter, and I will go to my blur, Gaussian blur, and blur it out. Okay, so I will have this blur option over here. Okay, like a blur effect over here. And if you will know that, and if you have worked in Photoshop, I hope you all have worked in Photoshop, we do have some adjustment layers, but we don't have a blur adjustment here. So blur will be applied directly over here. Now, if same thing we want to do in the Substance Designer, so your first layer will be your layer which is on the extreme left. So whatever is on the left, extreme left, will be your first layer. Now, in order to blur it, just like the way we blurred it in the Photoshop, you have to bring the blur, but you cannot directly apply over here. So what you need to do is that bring the blur, take the output, and connect to it. And then you will notice that it is blurred out. It's now blurred. Okay. Now, whatever is here is now here. So this layer has become this layer. So if I want to continue, I will not continue from here now. I will continue from here, because this is now my star layer actually. Now, another way of bringing or connecting the node, like we have connected, we just created a blur and then we connected it from here to here. Okay, let's do that again. So here I have blur, output, input, and it's blurred. Now, another way of doing that is, let's delete this. If I click here and try to move it anywhere I want and leave my mouse button, it will bring the same window that you can bring through the space bar. So I got this one without pressing the space bar. What I just did was, let's do that again. Just I clicked on the output, dragged it out, and leave it and I will get it. And now I want blur. I'll just click on blur and it will be automatically blurred. Okay. Now, another way of doing this is selecting the actual, your node. Okay. Then spacebar, choose blur, or blur from here or from here. Doesn't matter. So as soon you will click it, it will connect directly from it. So this is like different ways of doing that. And then you will have all these properties, just like I mentioned this one in our previous, that whatever node you bring it, its properties will be here. So if you want to go exactly inside the blur, we want to control the blur, you have to make sure you double click the blur. You will get it. You'll get the intensity. You can increase the intensity as much blur you want. You can see that it's getting blurred. Now we can add another one over here. For example, if we want to sharpen this up or use levels over here. So let's do one thing. Spacebar, or we have levels somewhere here. Where are the levels? Here are the levels. So I will just click here. Shortcut. I got the levels. Oops. Wait, I have to deselect everything. So the levels will be created somewhere here. Okay. Now levels are here. Sometimes what will happen is that you will face this most commonly in your projects most of the time, that your graph will be spread all over. So if you are using a certain sort of a node which is far away from the node where you want to apply it, like take this for example, like I want to apply levels to it, but the level is too far. It's kind of down here. So if I want to connect this to level, so what I have to do is that I have to click here, okay, and my finger is on my left mouse button, and I'm not leaving my left mouse button right now. So I want to go to the levels, but I cannot go because if I will move my mouse here or there, what is going on is that it's not scrolling. It's just there. What if I press on my scroll wheel button on my mouse? Then I can easily move. But if I'm moving, what's going on is it's not taking me there because I don't have enough space here to go to the levels. So in this case, what else I can do is that I can use my scroll wheel to zoom out, okay, and I can then move around and click it here, and then it will apply the levels to it. So this is only if your like your graphs are like kind of far away from like your nodes are far away from each other. So this is how you will do that. Use your scroll wheel button, okay, and then with that you can do it. So let's try again. Yes, I will click it here, okay, and use my scroll wheel, move my view, and then just like connect it. So that's how you will get it. Now, sometimes what happens, like suppose you have some other stuff here, like I have these here, and it's kind of overlapping, like it's coming in the way, and I cannot see my graph line over here, and maybe I cannot move it up because maybe this stuff is here, so I cannot move it. It will kind of overlap again or something like that. So in this way, what I can do is that I can press Alt on my keyboard, Alt, and what it will do is that I will press Alt and I will click anywhere in the line, and it will give me the small dot. Now, once I will get this dot, I can move this dot anywhere I want, and it will create something like this sort of like a flow. So this is how you can clean up your nodes if you have these sort of issues. But what we will do here is that we will bring our sharpen node just here. So simple, I'll just click it here, and I'll press spacebar and I will choose sharp, and I will get the sharp node here. And inside the sharp, I can sharpen up my image here. Okay. Okay. Or I think levels will be the best one because sharp is not giving me the nice results. So I'll click on the levels and I can play with my levels here. So, yep, it's giving me now a good result. Okay, so this is how you can create nodes from from your extreme left side to the right side. So just keep in mind your first layer, then your effects, then maybe you can put the second layer, or you can blur it out, something just like that. So it starts from left and it goes to the right. Now, there will be times you want to delete these nodes. You want to remove these connections. Maybe you're not happy with the connection or you're not happy with the result. So if you want to start deleting those or breaking connections, there are also different ways of achieving that. You can first, the most easiest way is selecting the actual connection. Like suppose I don't want this connection here. So simple, what I can do is that I can select this connection here, and simple, I will press delete on my keyboard and it will be gone. So that's how you can delete it. Let's undo that and let's see another way. One other thing is that, like suppose if you have some other nodes here, let's bring some different sort of an node here. Let me make I'll just make a kind of a small like a blend over here. Okay, don't worry about this, we'll go through all the details. I'm just showing you around some of these tricks to apply. Okay, now I have this like sort of a shape over here. Now you can see that, and I want to delete this one, and I want to delete this one. So how I can delete these? Okay, so just press Control key on your keyboard. You can click on this one, you can click on this one, or maybe this one also. And if I will press delete, all of them will be deleted. Or simple, just hover over here, keep the Control key pressed over here, over here. This is like my personal favorite one, and you can delete this way as well. Okay, but I will undo it. I don't want to delete it right now. Now, another way is actually just clicking on like say you want to break this connection here. I don't want this connection. Actually, I don't want blur. So how I can remove the blur from here? So actually what you will do is, for example, you will just delete this one, you will just delete this one, then you will just delete this one, and you will reconnect these. Okay, so this is one thing that you can do. However, there is a quicker way to do that. So if I select this and press delete, so everything will be deleted and I have to reconnect it. Okay, but I can do one more thing. Instead of pressing delete on my keyboard, I can press backspace. And when I press backspace, you will notice that whatever we were doing before is automatically done. That node is now deleted and these are now connected automatically. Now let me undo that. Let's keep it for a while here. Okay, and let's do one thing here. Let's use subtract here. Okay, now sometimes what happens, my levels is on the foreground and my shape is on the background. Again, don't be confused here because we will go through these in details in our next lessons. Here, only what I want to demonstrate is that some of these nodes can have multiple connections, just like the blend have at least like 2 or more, or maybe 3 like connections. And by mistake, maybe I have connected to like this one here. So I have to delete this and I have to delete this one. And then I have to move it back here, then here. Then I will get the subtract whatever I was using like before. However, let's undo that. There is a quicker way. Select these two. Instead of deleting them and then reconnecting to this one to here, this one to here, you just select this, hover over here, like, or, you know, just drag over it and then press X on your keyboard. And as soon as I will press X on my keyboard, you will notice they will swap. So you got the idea. So X again, go back like just like this. X again, go like this. Okay. So simple. You can press X to swap your nodes with each other. Now let's move to the next topic. So probably you are going to run into this situation a few times when you are first learning Substance Designer. You will notice if I move over here, a red dotted connection line. Now, what you need to know about Substance Designer is that it works in RGB values and grayscale values. So when you see an output connection that has a little yellow dot, like you see that here, this means that it is an RGB node, like this is RGB. And if you see something like a gray, like a small dot over here, so that means this is a grayscale value. So this is RGB and this is grayscale. And RGB and grayscale cannot be connected to each others. And that is why you will have this dotted line which shows an error. So dotted line means error. Similarly, if I go to the next node over here, you will notice that we have here a star, which is a gray. How we know gray? Because we have this gray dot. It's a grayscale. This is RGB. How we know this is RGB? Because there is a yellow dot over here. And you can notice that there is an error line here, and this error line is the dotted red line. So a gray scale value cannot be connected to the RGB, just like the RGB cannot connect it to the grayscale. Now, there are two different ways to solve this problem. Let's see. So first one is actually bring in the grayscale conversion. So if you want to apply anything between two nodes, okay, so this is something we can I have to show you here as well. Like suppose let's delete that. Now suppose I want to apply blur between these two. So usually what you will do is that you will just bring the blur. Okay, you can connect here and you can connect here and you got the blur. Okay, so the easiest way is that click on the connection, click on the blur, and you got it. Okay, so this is what we will do, the same thing here. I will select this one, and as soon as I will select this one, I will press space bar and grayscale, grayscale conversion. Okay, and what I will do here is that I will just click on it. It will bring it between these two, and you can see that there's no dotted line anymore, and they are like the RGB goes through the conversion, it becomes grayscale and it comes out as a grayscale. So there is no issue here. Now this one I cannot use here. So here, if you want to change from grayscale to RGB, what you can do is that you can select this one, and here we can use the gradient map. So if I will choose the gradient map between these two, and you can see that the grayscale moves to gradient map, converted to RGB, and goes out as an RGB. So no dotted line here as well. So this is how you can solve this issue of grayscale conversion or RGB conversion. Another type of connection that you might see while working is a thick and thin line. So let's go down here, and you will notice that here we have thin line and here we have thick line. Now, why do we have thick lines and why do we have thin lines? Thick line actually represents the higher bits of the image, and the thinner line represents the lower bit of the image. For example, I have this shape. Now this shape over here is basically 16-bit image. So that's why its line is thicker. This shape over here, on the other hand, is 8-bit. And how do I know that? If you will go zoom in here, notice it says L16, 16-bit image. Here it says L8, 8-bit image. So the reason this is thin is because this is 8-bit image. And the reason this is thick is just because it is a 16-bit image. So there's no there is nothing wrong in using both of them together, but it's just a matter of representation, just to show you around, because sometimes you might have a different result, because lower bitrate can give you blurry edges or noise in your rendering, or noise in your height maps. So these kind of stuff you will get if you have lower bitrate. So to check it out, you can have that. So L here means luminance, C over here means color. So if I will go back here and this one, okay, so it's basically a bitmap. And here you can see that I have everything here, and I have this output which says 8-bit. If I will change this to 16-bit, something like that, okay, so you will notice that this will become thicker. Okay, but I have this dotted line now. Now, why I have this dotted line? This is because this grayscale conversion is 8-bit and it cannot read from here. So I have to go here. Okay, now this is 16. Like, it will take a little time to load. Just I have double clicked it, that's all. And it loaded it, and now it's fine. So if I double click it here, it will refresh. So you just have to double click to get it refreshed. Now everything is 16, 16, 16, 16. So we have a purely 16-bit image. Okay, so blend I have, and if I will do any sort of a changes over here, basically this is kind of a you can say a bitmap versus shape. So you might have you will have these kind of results here. So once you start getting more and more comfortable with Designer, Substance Designer, your graphs will become more and more complex. So your nodes will be all over the place and it will be all jumbled. Right now, like this example is it's not a good example of what I mean. So let's open a different file. So let's open up a file here. I have a file recently created. So let's open that one up and let's see. Okay, now here, just notice it's all jumbled and it's all over the place. As I was mentioning, it's all messed up. It's really hard to see what is stuff going on over here. It's all it's like unorganized. So like I said, you will have all jumbled work and it will be like super messy at times. So I want to go over a little bit of some of the ways to like kind of tidy up your graphs and kind of keep them clean. This will make your life a lot easier if you follow these steps, because once you start getting to a super complicated graph, you'll know where everything is and you won't be jumbled trying to follow the connections to see whether like wherever they like go to. So to make it easier, let's go through like some of the like options features over here inside Substance Designer. So the first one is more so about just aligning nodes together. So if you want to line these nodes, for example, okay, just notice how they are, and I want them to be in one line. So what I can do is that I can select these all, and on the top you will see you have node toolbar, and you have some other options over here: highlight flow, parent toolbar, node toolbar. So I'll just go to the node toolbar and I will just click here, and as soon as I will click it here, I will have the sizes. Apart from that, I will have align horizontal and align vertical. So if I will click on align horizontal, they all will go in a straight horizontal alignment. Similarly, let's go over here. I have all these messed up nodes and I want to align them, but this time I want to align them vertically. So I'll just click on the vertical alignment option, and as soon as I will click it, they will all go vertically aligned. And as soon as I will do that, you can see that. Let's do for these two too, and they are perfectly aligned together. So this is how you can easily align these items. Like suppose these ones, let's make them align just like that here. Okay, here. So you can do all these and then just make them look nice, neat, and clean. And also we have this option here, which is snap the selected nodes on the grid. So for example, if this one is a little bit outwards, if I will take this one, click over here, so I will be able to snap it on the grid. Okay. So now you can see snapped here. This is not snapped. So if I click it here, click on it, it is snapped on the grid. So just how you can snap it. Now, another big one here that I really like is to use inside the Substance Designer is called frames. So these are essentially big containers that can hold multiple nodes, and you can color them, you can rename them, and you can add little comments in them. Okay, you can just write different comments. So different sort of things you can do with these frames. So let's see how we can create the frames here. Now, for example, I'm just creating this one, and these are my nodes about big rocks and small rocks. So these are basically my you can say tiny rocks, medium-sized rock, large-sized rocks. So what I can do, I can select this all just like this. Right click, okay, add a frame. It will just create a frame on whatever is selected. Here I have the frame name, which I can change it from here. So maybe I can type here tiny rocks. Okay, and then I can go to this one, select it all, right click, and add frame. Basically, you can also give a hotkey to this. So easily you can just press that hotkey on the keyboard and you get it. So that also you can do. And here I will rename it to medium-sized rock. Cool. So now if I will go here, this one, I can right click, add frame, and I can rename it to large size rocks. Now, suppose I want to move all of this, so I don't have to select all of them, then move around. What I can do now is that just move this frame and the whole thing will move. So that's one more other good thing about it. Plus, what else you can do, support, like suppose I have here some macro details. So I can select these three, right click, add a frame. Now I have a frame inside a frame. Okay, I can make it smaller, much more smaller if you want, and move it down. I can change it to micro details. Now, blue inside a blue frame doesn't look good, so you can change the color of the frame as well. Okay, and then maybe I can select this one and right click, add a frame, and call this one you can say primary details. And then I can change the color of it the way I want it. So you can change the colors, you can put whatever name you want, and any description you can like write it. Maybe these are procedural Okay, just like that. And you will notice that it is like you can read the description here. So you can add description, you can add titles, you can add colors, you can do so many things. As many you want, you can create these sort of a like frames. Now, there is another way of doing this. Suppose you don't want to create frames. You're like we are here like on our previous one and the one that we are using here. We are working here, and this is not a very large like a graph. So maybe I don't need a frame. So instead of frame, I just only wanted to write the title. So what I can do, instead of making this frame, you can do one more thing. That is just right click, add a comment, and you will get this option here. So you can write here star. Okay. And then just can click it here, move it. Okay. And then you can go to this side and you can right click, add a comment here, or you can write normal map. Okay, and then you can move wherever you want. Then maybe here you can add a comment here and write anything you want, color conversion. So ideally this is good for you if you have a small graph and you don't want to create frames. So you can add comments just like that, especially when you're working in teams and you're sending it to your team member. So right away when he will open, he will get the idea what it is, so that he won't face any issue in first kind of exploring what it is doing. So right away, if he will read the comments, he will understand what do these means. Another thing that we have, let's go back here, is the pin. Now pins basically works like bookmarks inside Substance Designer. How do you add pins? So if I right click here and in any empty area, you will see there is add pin option. So if I click on add pin, it will just create a pin. You can move the pin anywhere. You can give the title of the pin. Okay. You can write here whatever you want. Maybe I will write here initial stage. Okay, so I will have the initial stage pin here. Okay. Oops. I think I have to double click it here and then write initial stage. I don't know what I did last. I think I renamed something else. Okay. And then maybe if I will go here and add a pin here, and you can change okay, here I will write maybe middle level stage. Okay, so I think this is basically the description, not the title, and you can change the color of it if you want, something like that. I don't know why it isn't changing the color. Maybe it's the color of the frame, or no, it's not working here, but let's go to the other one here. Now here I will add a pin and I will write here final stage. Now how this will help me? Suppose if I'm in the initial stage right now, working here, and I want to switch to my final stage. So I have to zoom out, pan all the way here. Takes time, right? So with the help of the pin, with the help of these pins, what you can do is that simply you just press F2 on your keyboard. So as soon I will press F2 on my keyboard, it will keep on jumping between these pins. So I will be on the initial pin. I will press F2 on my keyboard. It will take me to the middle level stage. Then from here, it will take me to the final level stage. Okay. So just I'm pressing F2 and it keep on switching. So it's just a very handy tool, especially if you have a really huge graph and you want to jump from one place to another place. Now, some other general settings that you can do inside the graph, you can kind of change the way you work. You can actually, if you don't like these smooth lines, okay, so you can change it to, if you go here, there is a rectangle links. So if you click on rectangle links, it will become like straight link, just like these. Okay, so if you are not happy with the smooth links, you can do the rectangle links. Okay, these look much more neat and cleaner. Okay, but little hard to track back. Okay, but I usually don't keep it. I always keep the smoother one, so I know where it is flowing from and where it is flowing to. Another great thing that you can do to kind of consolidate the amount and nodes you have is if you have a lot of nodes here, like suppose, for example, I have here how many? 1, 2, 3. Okay, and I want to consolidate these nodes, means like I don't want to see them laying out around like this. So what I can do is that I can select this node, for example, and I can press D on my keyboard. So D will dock it to this node, and a small tiny size. There is no link connection, just like this. It's just like uh, you know uh, stick to it. So if I'll select this one and press D, so these both are there, and you can keep on going. Okay, and suppose if you don't want, just click on the one that you do, or you want to undock just like the way it is, so press D again and it will go back to its original position. So this will save your workspace. For example, if you have a lot of these, you just do this and everything will be fine, especially if you don't want to work on these and these are pretty much the finalized nodes, and maybe you don't have any plan to change them. So those you can dock, because you're not going back there to do this do the changes. So it's better to keep them docked with each other to save the space. But for this purpose, like for this exercise, I'll keep it as it is. Now, the last thing I want to illustrate is you guys have a power of creating these graphs and using multiple graphs to create your substances. So for example, here inside this file, we have here a lot of these nodes and nodes and nodes and so much going on here. Now, what if I don't want to put everything inside one graph view? To keep it simple, what we can do is that we have all these outputs. So we have done a like ton of work. We have a really awesome normal color and stuff, and then we have all these different kind of textures, patterns. We have twigs. We have gradient panels and so many things going on. It's all like crazy around over here. So what you can do is that you can pick up some of the nodes, and then you can convert those nodes into a single node with some basic output. And this is kind of shows you how powerful Substance Designer is and how powerful a substance can be. So you can have multiple nodes inside one node, and this will help you a lot to clean your graph view and to work more like smoothly, comfortably. So instead of having all these nodes, you can create nodes inside nodes, like a nested nodes, and then you can bring them up here. So it will save a lot of time. So how we can do that is, just for example, we want to create a node out of all these nodes in the medium size rocks. Okay, so I can just simply select this all. Okay, and then one thing we have to make sure is just check this one. This one is, let's do one thing, because I don't want to mess around things here. So let me first put these here so we can start our work without any sort of a confusion here. Okay, good. So let's remove all these right now, just like for an example. Okay. So as you know, all of these things are here, and this node is connected to the output of to the background height of this node. Okay, so don't worry about the nodes because we are going to learn all these nodes. What are these? How to create them? What they do in our next chapters. So don't worry about that. Just let's see how we can convert these nodes into a one node. So I'll select all these nodes, right click, and then after that I will have these options here. So the one option that we will use here is create graph from the selection. Okay, and if I select this one, if I click it here, it will ask me what kind of name you want. So it will give you an option here. So maybe I can write here, this is medium size rocks. And just press OK here. Now, as soon as I will do that, I have the medium size rocks here. So let's do that. Double click it here. And my medium size rock is opened now. Now what I can do here is that what I only need is just go back here, create an output node. Okay. And then just put that here. Okay. And that's all. Maybe these also. Okay. Or just leave it just like that. Okay. And then I will go back here. Don't worry about this. We'll go all these nodes in details, and we will do this in detail also. Just right now, I just wanted to demonstrate like how we can have a node inside a node. Now I will go back to my dirt ground here. Okay. Now I have the dirt ground here. I don't need these anymore. I can delete this whole thing. Okay. And simple, what I need is that a dirt, the medium sized rock, grab that, create it, just bring that in, take this node and just connect to it. That's all. And this is how you can save your space. Just notice how much space it has saved. This is how you can create nodes and nodes inside nodes. It helps a lot in creating these kind of stuff, and then it's a very big time saver over here. And also not only time saver, like big, you can say a space saver over here. Time it will save, but most of the thing is that it saves your space a lot. So now I can go back to my medium sized rock. Whatever changes I will do, it will be applied over here. So it kind of shows how powerful substance can be, just like I mentioned before. And then it's like you have all this thing in one node, and it's like you can create full-on materials with it, especially when you do planning. It works really good if you have a plan in your mind. So it kind of gives you like the whole thing. So that's pretty much it about the graph view. I hope you have understood about the whole of the graph view here, and how to create the nodes, how to delete nodes, how we can alter them, how we can edit them. So our next lesson will be about the properties. This area, this big guy over here. So we will learn about these properties in our next lesson of this chapter. So I hope you have liked this lesson, and I'm sure you will be waiting for the next lesson now. So our next lesson, as I told you before, will be about the properties. So I would like to thank you all for all your support, and I hope you will continue to support me. Please subscribe to my channel if you have not subscribed to it yet. And I will be posting a lot of new content. So don't forget to hit the bell icon so you can receive the notifications about them. If you have liked my video, so please hit the like button and leave your questions in the comment section below, and I will surely answer them. In the end, I would like to mention that please avoid downloading my videos. If anyone of you is doing that, I hope none of you is doing that, because all my hard work won't pay off. So instead of downloading my videos, watch them online. So please support me and always watch my videos online. So guys, thanks once again, and everyone, and soon we will meet in the next lesson. Take care of yourself, stay healthy, and keep learning.
There is one important announcement I would like to make. I have started 3 great membership plans on my channel. I have introduced ZI Friends membership plan, which will give you exciting perks like loyalty badges and priority on comments. I have also introduced ZI Early Bird plan, which will give access to Z interactive tutorials way early before they become public. So you will get all these lessons at once and you can binge watch. Last but not the least, I have introduced ZI Premium plan, which will give access to advanced professional tutorials, which you will find at very, very expensive outside, and I will be giving this at a very low amount of price. So visit my channel now and click on the join membership to get more information. I hope you become one of my members. If you want to learn how to create a highly detailed prop procedurally using Substance Designer, so this premium tutorial series is for you. Join my premium membership plan on YouTube and get access to all premium tutorials. In this tutorial series, I will demonstrate how to use Substance Designer along with simple geometry to create a realistic smashed up retro television.